Hello students, are you ready for the class? This is our third class. I have already given the two class to you and you have enjoyed those class, I think. If still you are seeing this first time, then you can go to those video first, because those basic things whatever we need to learn in these topics we have discussed in those two class. And in third class we are going to discuss remaining part of that. So you know that we were in the DC circuits. So DC circuit, this is our continuation of class, continued. And in third today we have direction of current. So what is the direction of current? That's a very easy question for you. Suppose this is a wire. I told you in the beginning, symbol of wire will be a straight line, and I connect here one battery. And so symbol of battery is this. And now you have to tell me what should be the direction of current. Direction of current from this side to and going through this and returning to this. Okay, one of the things. It can be, you can suppose this, whether it will be right or wrong. So again I draw the same figure, but this time I am drawing current from this direction to like this. So tell me which one is the correct notation? Actually,
First one.
first one is the correct direction. We assume that current flows from positive pole of the battery and reaches to the negative pole of the battery. So direction of current should be like this. And this assumption is called the conventional direction of current, because actually we have supposed the flow of positive charge. Flow of positive charge which occurs from positive pole and reaches to the negative pole of the battery as the direction of, we have supposed that I told you. Actually in the metals what happens? Electron moves from the negative pole of the battery. Negative pole of the battery means there is plenty of electrons, millions, billions, trillions of electrons, and there is lack of electrons. So if there is lack of electrons, that's why it's positive pole, and there is billions of electrons, that's why it's the negative electron, negative charge, negative plate. Okay, so negative has more electron, much more electron by the way, and positive have less electrons. So of course when you connect the conductor and wire, these electrons moves from negative pole of the battery and this goes to the positive pole of the battery to neutralize that positive charge. So this is the flow of electron. This is flow of electron. And now you may think, what would happen if we had supposed that the direction of electron is the same as the direction of current? Nothing would happen. But actually we are already familiar with this, so we are not following the direction of current like this. We can keep in your mind that flow of electron is just opposite of conventional direction of current flow. But actually electrons take place, the electron moves from the negative to the positive. Means direction of current is opposite to the direction of flow of current in the metal. Okay, and so this is the direction, this conventional direction we assume, and we throughout the course we take the direction of current from the positive pole of battery to the negative pole of the battery. Okay, and so the conventional direction of current is from positive pole of battery to negative pole of battery. So can we suppose this is the, and so you may make one figure for your future reference, you may forget, and so this I made again, and so this is conventional direction of current. Okay, and you want to make the direction for the electron also, and so this again you can make another figure, and this time you make the electron, and so this electron is moving this direction, the electron is moving in this direction, and so this negative electron is moving, and so you can understand this electron is moving in this direction. Okay, and so this is direction of direction of electron, direction of flow of electron. My handwriting is worse because I'm writing fast as per the speed of the sound, and so okay. And this is the conventional direction of current. You can copy it down. Okay, and so this was the direction we discussed. Okay, and next topic is very important for you and for your examination. Next exam, when your first term comes, then this question is quite sure to come. Okay, and so that question is, what is question? We have to derive the relation between drift velocity and current. Sometimes it may be the relation between drift velocity and current density. And there is a topic, there may be some topic, some book like the mechanism of metallic conduction. So this is our very important topics, and so pay attention. Actually, you are paying attention from the beginning. I should not say pay attention. You are always paying attention. That's why you reach up here. Okay, so to make you understand, I need to give one concept, that is a free electron. We have heard that metals have free electrons. Metals have large number of free electrons. Large number of free electrons. What does it mean? What you understand by this term, this statement? Actually, metal's outermost orbit. If you do the electronic configuration of metal, you see that in the metal, in the outermost shell, there is 1, 2 or 3 valence electrons. These valence electrons are less influenced by the nucleus. Actually, relatively they are further. And so in metal, electrons are not properly attracted by this nuclear proton, and so they are free to move in their lattice site. Means they can go from one atom to another atom easily by getting the thermal agitation. Thermal agitation means atmospheric heat in environment. So these electrons getting less energy also can move from one metal to another metal, and so one atom to another atom. So they are called the free electrons. And so there are large number of free electrons, because small piece of metal also large number of atoms. You know that's 63.5 gram of copper. Copper contains 6.023 into 10 to the power 23 atoms. See this large number. This much number of atoms contains in 63.5 gram, and so if I make the wire of 63.5 gram copper, then it becomes like this length, then everywhere these atoms will be counting, then you will get this much. And each atom gives, copper gives the one electron also, then there is this much free electron which can move randomly in the metal wire. Means it can, this electron is free, getting heat from the atmosphere, it can move air, this electron can move air. They are actually random motion, it can go in any direction. So those electrons are called the free electrons. In metallic conduction, free electrons plays the major role. So you got this idea what is the free electron. Why it's called free? I told that reason also. Okay, and so and free electrons you got. I don't require this to make you understand, only I told you this. And so okay. And now let me make this magnified figure. And this was so like this, so thick, small as wire also have like this only, and I make a few only. There I told you the billions of electrons, I can't do those. Okay, and so these electrons, I told you there is nothing, no electric field applied, means we are not connecting any battery. These electrons are free electrons, and so this can move in any direction. It can go up also, some can go down, some toward the right, some toward this obliquely, and this up. I told you random, you understand random means. They are moving randomly in all possible directions. If they are moving all possible directions, there is no net flow of charge in any particular direction. If there is no net flow of charge, then what will happen? There is no current, because current is net rate of flow of charge to the conductor. And in there is no particular charge in any direction, so there is no net current. So itself moving, even itself they are moving, the metal electrons are moving, there is no charge, no current flowing in this. So what can be done to make the current? Okay, let me connect here the battery. Are you going to connect? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so this battery I connected to the metal piece of the wire. Okay, and so what will happen now? See this, electron has a negative charge and this battery pole, positive pole has positive charge, this has negative charge. So what interaction happens with the negative and negative? You know that negative and negative charge repel. You have learned in class 11. Negative charge repel negative charge. So from this side someone is pushing the electron, go away. And this side someone is calling the electron. Oh, come. Your dear, where are you? And so these all electrons try to go to the positive, and there someone is pushing and someone is pulling. Means that becomes very easy for electrons to move. And so all electrons now not moving in the random direction, they get particular direction of movement. So now these electrons which we have just discussed, these are free electrons. We are not talking about all the electrons which are bound to the atom. And these all electrons. See, I am making so many electrons. These all electrons are going to move in this particular direction, right to left in my board. Okay, and so these all are moving in this net flow of charge in particular direction. So this constitute the current. Okay, and so I made this figure for you. Like you may think now that if these electrons are moving from this to this, then after some time all electrons will move, and as conductor, what will happen to the conductor? Don't think like that. What actually happens when one electron leaves the conductor this side, one electron comes here, then from the battery one electron enters in this at the same time. Means number of free electron is still remains same in the middle, and continuously battery is supplying electrons, and one electrons is moving away, some entering, moving, entering, and so number of electrons still remains same in the conductor. And so this in this way metallic conduction takes place. Okay, now you may think that what will happen if the one electron will collide with another? Of course, you are running fast and someone kept your obstacle in front of you, you may fall. Same thing happens here. When these electrons are rushing to reach to the positive pole of battery, they collide with each other, they fight with each other, and when they collide with electron with itself and even with the ions, atom, lattice side there are so many atoms, and those all they may collide with each other and atoms. When they collide, then what happens? They lose the energy, means speed breaks, becomes slow, again accelerated, again slow, like sometimes fast, sometimes slow it moves. And when it moves slow, it has less speed. When it moves fast, it has more speed. So there may be some average velocity by which it is crossing through the wire. When means this electrons here and it reaches here, and here has some velocity here, v1, here v2, here v3, maybe here v4. So there you may tell us some average velocity that electron require through the conductor. That average velocity which electron acquire when it passes through the conductor is called the drift velocity. What I told? Drift velocity. What is drift velocity? The velocity which an electron, the average velocity which an electron acquires when it passes through the conductor after application of electric field is called the drift velocity. It is very high velocity, more than 10 to the 5 meters in 1 second. And so these velocities, average velocity we call the drift velocity. So let me write, because I am going to derive also relation. This V1, V2, V3 I do not write and need, and so I am going to write this. Okay, and this also I don't require for derivation. Okay, and so this velocity, what velocity this derived, I may write V, and some people may write Vd to denote the Drift velocity, okay. Drift velocity is dt. If I suppose due to flow of these electrons, current flowing here is I, and battery, okay, only one plus I, right? And area of cross section of this, this metallic wire is, I suppose, capital A. Now I need one data. How many electrons are there? 4, so 12 millions. How many billions, millions, trillion, what number? We don't have any data like that. So if we don't have, then we require that to count the charge, because charge, you know that charge is quantized. Charge is always multiple of the number of electrons. One electron has charge E, then n electron has charge Ne. So this much number of charge we have, but I should know what is the number of electron. Will you tell me? You? Yeah, you can tell. What are you thinking? You can? Of course you can tell.
Number of electrons is E by Q.
It's wrong. Actually, when we have one data, or scientists do the experiment to find the number of electrons in the metal, and that data we have is small n. Small n is number of electron per unit volume. Number of electron per unit volume is fixed quantity which is known for all the metals. For copper, some data we have. For iron we have. Aluminium we have. So number of electrons per unit volume is known to us. If this number is known, then I can find the volume. Because area of cross section I have suppose A, I may suppose this length of the conductor is L. And if I suppose area of cross section length L, then I can get the volume. So if I get volume and this data is someone gives us, and so someone gives, when this data is known, I can multiply, I can get number. Okay. And after getting this, I can get a charge. Exactly. You are in right position now. Are you following me? Understanding? Yes. Okay. And so in this way, what will happen? We can get the charge and then we can get the current. Let me reach up to there and then I will write note for you. Okay. And so I told you current equals to what? Current equal to rate of flow of charge, means Q upon T. Just now I told charge is quantized, so charge is something times electronic charge. So that's Ne. Time is T. I told N is not known to me. If I don't know N, then I can calculate. How can I calculate? N, it becomes I told you small n is number of electron per unit volume, and so capital N will be equal to small n times B. Okay, and so I can tell this small n into B times C. Actually, this is capital B. I am going to write again B, that's the drift velocity, and so capital B I wrote here. Okay, upon T. Okay, now you can tell me the volume of cylindrical object, or actually any prism have the same formula. You know that volume is equals to area of cross section into length. Area of cross section into length. Sometimes some people tell height. Okay, volume is area of cross section into height. Instead of height we have length. Height and length is not quite different things. You tell that this rod is kept like this. You tell this length, and if I put it vertically, then call this height. So length and height are even different. Don't think. Okay, and so volume. Now volume is known to me, and so I can write this. Okay, and so we have already written here. So N is N, B is area of cross section into length, and this is E, and here is T. Now see this, what happens. I got NA LE upon T. There is one thing you have to notice. You must notice this. Are you noticing? This is distance upon time. Length is distance and this time. I means this what length? This is length and what time? How much time it takes to cover? Wow. So distance, total distance by total time. Total distance by time is velocity. Means that is average velocity electron acquired. That's we call the drift velocity. Okay, and so if I get drift velocity, then what will be? Very interesting. I get N A L by T is drift velocity. I get V, a small v, and this is the E. So I get the current in terms of drift velocity. What was our topics? Relation between drift velocity and current. So we are getting here relation between drift velocity and current. We got, but this is, looks a little bit difficult to remember. So let me make this either. I am Bhena. This is the Nepali word, pure Nepali word Bhena. You can easily remember. So B for deep velocity, E for electronic charge, N for N is area of cross section, and M I replace by H. So I get the relation I equals to Bhena. This is the relation which I want to get. And some writers, sometimes exam comes write the relation between drift velocity with the current density. So now it's very easy for you. Actually, we have already learned that second video. Current density was the current density J equals to I upon A, and I just, you told me that, so we get B and A upon area, and so A cut, I get the bend. Okay, and so J current density becomes B N. So this was the very easy and interesting topics about the relation between drift velocity and current, and we derive it also. Now it's time to write the note, because we should, I think to make the video I do some hard work, and I always try, so like you should not go through different videos in different sites, and even you should not search in the Google. Everything you can get here only, and I am trying that my best. And so let me write down this for derivation. I have to write this all things. Okay, let us consider. We will start with the, let us consider a metal wire of length L, area of cross section A, and number of electron per unit volume, is small here. I am supposing this. Okay, and so if an electric field is applied, across its two ends, the free electrons in the conductor gets accelerated from negative side of battery to positive side. They collide each other, and ions inside the metal. Okay, let me write the sentence. I made a bigger sentence at a time, and so sometimes. Okay, let's consider a metal wire of length L, area of cross section A, and number of electrons per volume N. If electric field is applied across the two ends, the free electron in the conductor gets circulated from negative side of battery to the positive side. They collide each other and ends of the metal. So they have different velocities at different point of the conductor. Thus, the average velocity, the average velocity acquired by the electrons when electric field, let me rub this, I need a space. So the average velocity acquired by electron when electric field is applied across its two ends called drift velocity. So I write up to drift velocity, and now if I be the current due to flow of charge Q through the conductor in time t, then we can write, and you can copy down. Hey, you can just pause the video and you can copy it down. Okay, I am going to drop because this video becomes a little lengthier, and I always try. Okay, and so we can write I equals to charge upon T. Here, what is charge? Charge Q equals to Q is N. This is called the quantization of charge. Quantization of charge. Charge is already multiple of electrons, so n electron flows through the conductor, and each electron has charge. So I can write this. Also, what do we have? Also, this number of electron point volume is small n is given by capital N upon V, and also capital V. So again, now I need this n, so I can cross multiply these two. So NV. Okay, and so what happens now? I put this value here, and so from equation you can give the equation 1, and you can give equation 2. Also, so from equation 1 we can write I equals to Q becomes NE upon that the time is still here, and you know that N becomes your small n, and this capital B E upon T. And one last thing I told you, just like this, N equals B, the area of cross section into length times E upon T, and so this is I. I am telling a little bit faster. I hope you all are intelligent, that's why. There is no other reason to make it fast. I think you all are intelligent, you can get me. Okay, and so this is N, and this is A, and this L upon T. I told you this drift velocity. Vd upon it, that's Vd also, and V also you can write. Okay, I write V for the time being, and I rearrange the terms, so I get that small b, yes, small b, E, N, A. So this is the required relation between current and drift velocity. Up to here you have to conclude. Of course you can go on writing this, and you use the one formula, and so since you can write V equals to area of cross section into length, like this you can. So you do not give any excuse to the teacher to count your marks. Okay, and so last I told you that sometimes it may be asked for the current density, and so also if J be the current density, then we can write J will be equals to I upon A, and I just derived B and A upon A, and so this becomes division also, and this J therefore J equals to B N. This is required relation between current density and drift velocity. So friend, I think you all are doing well and you understood this concept. We may ask the question where to make the figure. You can make figure before also writing and after also. And do right there the mechanism of figure 1. Mechanism of metallic conduction. And one question I want to ask you, that's are you feeling like that you are in the actual class or not? You do write in the comment, then I can understand you are doing well. Okay, okay, and so let me write. If J be the current density, then we can tell J equals to I upon it. You know, I just derived B NA upon A, and so A cut, and so we get J equals to B. And this is required relation between drift velocity and current density. So I told you sometimes you may have to derive up to here and you will conclude the question. So these were our very important questions. I think you remember the formula also. I am Vena, and just telling like I am Vena, I equals to Vena, and you will never forget. Okay, and one short question for you, and that question is short question 1. Question is comes very interesting and short question, and so you may go on writing the short question also. Okay, and question is, what will be the drift velocity if radius, that's area of cross section at some portion of the wire becomes just half, like this. So this is, there are one single wire have the two diameter. One diameter, the one is thick, so this is thick wire, and there is a thin wire, so this is diameter D12 and diameter D1. And question asked me if there is drift velocity is here V1, and if what would be the drift velocity at second part of the wire. And so think and tell me. Thought or still thinking? Very interesting. This I told you I equals to B and A, and this times I need this B and A. So I can write this drift velocity equals to I by E and A. Is it right? B equals to, I took these terms this side. Here these two are in the series, so you keep in the mind in series connection. Let I tell you series combination. This series means same current goes there. Series combination. I is constant, and E is also constant. Why is constant? Electronic charge is fixed for all. And now N is also constant. N is also constant. N is constant. Now remaining is A. So what I get? B is inversely proportional to 1 by, inversely proportional to area of cross section. Okay. Further I can remove the constant, and this is pi d square by 4. So again I got some constant, that's 4 and pi. So what I get? B is inversely proportional to d square. What does it mean? If diameter is more, then drift velocity is less. So if diameter is less, velocity is more. Means in this case it is diameter more, velocity less. Diameter less, velocity more. So from this, what can we conclude? V2 is greater than V1. So this is the logic you can keep in mind. But in examinations, whatever you understand, from that marks never comes. Marks comes how you present your answer in your exam paper. So while writing the short question, you think you are always going to put figure and formula in your short question, if possible. Almost all questions you can imagine, and you can insert the figure and formula. If there is concept matching with the formula, then you put because that's eye catching and it can give you the marks, right? And so what I told you, while writing the short questions, you have to insert figure and formula if possible. If that is going to give you the 100% marks in that short question. So the core question was, what will be drift velocity? Drift velocity if area of if diameter of wire becomes half after some length. So this is our question. So this question is, how will you start this? Okay, I told you this figure formula is going to help me, and so you will start with, if you can make later, the current through, you write solution here first, solution, then current through metal wire is given by, metal wire is given by, you can write I equal to this, you add this, that, right, therefore you reach up to here. Okay, and you can psi constant, this also you can write in the side, n is constant for same metal, you write this also inside only, and then you can write V equal to some constants by d square. And so we can write, let me write here, I need more space. 8 V1 is drift velocity in first part and V2 in second part. Then what will get? V1 equals to constant by d1 square, V2 equals to constant by d2 square. Now we are going to divide so that it will come. Now V2 upon V1. Therefore V2 and V1 equals to this inverse will take out and this comes d2 by d1 square. And in the question it's given, what's given here? What is given? D2 is half of D1. Here it's given. So I can add this, and so what happens? V2 by V1 equals to D2 is half of D1, so 1 by 2, and this is the D1 and square is square of this also. Okay, and by D1 square this is going to cut, so this becomes 1 by 4. So V2 by V1 equals to 1 by 4. So we can simply, you can simply tell that V2 is, it should be what? Is it wrong? No, V2 equals to, V1 equals to 4 times V2. I think something mistake I think here. Let me check. What is given? Here we are given D2 is half of D1. So D2 is half of D1, and so I have to put that value there. So V2 by V1 equals to V2 by, oh sorry, this inversely, so I have to write here. It was D1 and it was D2. So here I get the D1 is square, D2 is half of D1 square, and so this becomes the D1 square, D1 is cancel, and so I get V2 by V1 equals to 4. So what I get? V2 equals to 4 times V1, means drift velocity in the later case becomes the 4 times. And you can conclude the question, hence the drift velocity becomes 4 times. So like this, if you present your copy, then you can get the good marks, and you may think that for 4 marks you are writing the 2-page answer, then for 2 marks. How much should you write? You think that you are writing 4 lines and your teacher is not giving the 2 marks. How could possible? For 4 marks, if you have to write the 2 page, then for 2 marks at least you have to write 1 page. And so I request you, while writing the short question also, think this carry the 2 marks and you have to write in proper length. Okay, and so this was the question I have to discuss in these topics. And so next time we are going to start the Ohm's law. That's also very important. That's going to help you in all entrance examinations. Also, I'll teach you several tricks and techniques. So that's by one time's learning you can get all the information. And so I think you are enjoying. And have you shared this video to your friends? If not, then do share, because it encourages me to make the video. Nothing you will pay for subscribing, like the video and sharing the video. And so of course you are good students, you are obedient students, you obey your teacher, and you will share this video to all of your friends. Thank you for joining the class. Thanks.